Welcome to this tutorial on using the PIAAC International Data Explorer. In this tutorial, we will show you how to access and use the PIAAC Data Explorer with the US household data. To access the PIAAC household data with the International Data Explorer, you'll first have to look for the Data Explorer. So we're going to do PIAAC Data Explorer NCES. And you'll get this website, PIAAC NCES. And you'll see here on the left, PIAAC Data Explorer. And you will be able to select here PIAAC. You'll see that the other international data explorers are also available on this site. And select PIAAC. And then the first selection is going to be, we want to display the household data. Now notice that there are several options here. The first one is you can use the US household data and prison data combined, and that's the data collection that took place in we'll take a look here, 2017. You can access those data, or you can access the data that was collected combined between 2012 and 2014. Remember that the prison data collection took place only in 2014, but it still shows up in this column here. The other option that you have is to select the young adults sample, and this was collected in 2012-2014, and then also it goes back to the adult literacy studies prior to PIAAC. Notice that when you select the adults, the young adults 16 to 34, you also have the option of selecting the OECD countries. The same thing when you select the adults 16 to 65, you will have the sample for, in this case, you will have the samples for 2012 and 2014. And you'll be able to compare those results with those of the countries that participated in PIAAC. So, to summarize, if you want to work with the adult population 16 to 74, including the prison data, you would make this selection. If you want to select and work with the young adults, you will make this selection, and this will allow you to make comparisons within the US and between the US and other participating countries in PIAAC. And if you want to work with the entire adult population across all the PIAAC countries, you will select this option, which will give you the data for adults 16 to 65 in the United States and across the participating countries. So we're going to make, for our example, we're going to select adults 16 to 65. And just to show you the functionality of the Data Explorer, we're going to do a simple analysis. We're going to do analysis for the numeracy scale. We want to work with Austria, Canada, Chile, and the United States. It's going to be at the bottom. If you're interested, you also have other subnational entities that you can include in your analysis. We're not going to do that for this analysis. And you have the option to select averages. So you can select the average of all jurisdictions or the average of the selected jurisdictions in your selection of countries here. In the next step, we're going to select the variables that we're going to work with. I click on the second tab, and we want to look at, in this case, we want to look at gender differences, and we want to look at age groups in 5-year intervals. Notice that here you have also some variables that will allow you to select those participants that are 16 to 34, those that are 66 to 74. You can select those that are part of the international sample, and you can also select those that are unemployed. For example, we're just going to select by gender and by age groups in 5-year intervals. Next step, we're going to edit the reports. And you'll see here that automatically the Data Explorer generates 3 reports. One for numeracy by gender, another one for numeracy by age groups, and a third one crossing gender and age groups. Options here you have statistics options. So I'm going to select here, and you'll see that we can select averages, and in the percentiles you can select to the Data Explorer to compute these percentiles here. In our case, we're going to select averages and standard deviations alone. Done. So you'll see that this is going to change right here. Under format options, you'll be able to specify the labels that you want to be displayed, the number of decimal places, and so on. And in our last step, we can just build the report. So we click Build the Reports. And it'll take a few minutes to calculate. And once the calculations are done, you get the first table where you'll see the average for males and females in numeracy by gender. And here you also have then, you can select to view the results by age group. And you see the results here. You see that you get by country, by age group, each one of those results. And the last report that you can see is cross-tabulated reports. And here we have the results by age group, by country, by gender. So a couple of useful links here that number one, you can link to this page. And if you click on link to this page, it will give you a link that you can copy. You can do select, copy, and then you can use this to open a different session in a browser. I'm going to paste the link here, return, and you'll see that you'll get the table right away. The other options that you have here is you can go to export the reports, and when you click on export the reports, you get the option to export 1, 2, or all 3 reports into HTML, Excel, or Word. We're going to export them to Excel. And once it's done, it's going to say, I want to open the file. I'm going to say OK. And here we have the results for the report 1, report 2, and the cross-tabulated results. 2 more things to show you here is how to do significance testing. So we're going to first select here report 1, which is going to give us the differences by gender. We select significance test, within variables, all jurisdictions, both genders, on the averages. And here we'll see that we get the gender differences for Austria, difference between males and females, for Canada, for Chile, and for the United States. So you're going to get significant differences, a significance test between males and females by country. Go back to the table, and the last feature that I want to show you in this demo is edit reports. And we could create a new report, and here we're going to do collapsed age groups. And for this, we're gonna be creating a new variable, which is gonna be the age variable, and we're gonna recode that as follows. So we're gonna select less 30 years, under less than 30 years old, create. Then we're gonna have the next group is gonna be 30 to 50, or 30 to 40, 30 to 49 years old. And we have one last group, which is 50 and older. 50 and older. Create. Now we're done. We have collapsed the variable into 3 categories. Done. For our new report called collapsed age groups, we want all countries, the collapsed variable, PIAAC 2012-2014, averages and percentages. I'm going to select done, and we'll see that now we have this report right here, collapsed age groups. And when we build a report, we're going to have to search for that here, collapsed age groups. And then we have now the results, where we have by country, by year, the results for each one of the collapsed age groups. These are some of the features of the International Data Explorer. We invite you to explore it and make use of the data. Thank you for watching. For more information or comments about these videos, please write to egonzalez@ets.org. Thank you.
This video was made possible by the Institute of Education Sciences of the U.S. Department of Education, through Grant R305B160020 to Educational Testing Service. The opinions expressed are those of the authors and do not represent views of the Institute or the U.S. Department of Education.